Alright, it's time to start cutting some aluminum angle and framing this out to put the back deck and the front deck on. I want the battery to be up front pretty far because of the porpoising issue. I was going to put it in here in this bench seat, but I think we're going to do a hatch up here on the top deck and set the battery in here. Always wear your PPE. So I got this clamped down on both ends. You can see the gunnel's bent from, now this boat's bent everywhere, but it fits pretty snug. We're gonna go and get a drill bit, and I believe we're gonna have to use tapping screws in here. Got a drill bit, got some screws. This is what I have. I wish they were a little longer, but they should. That's enough thread to bite. Hopefully they work. And we got some blue Loctite and the impact to screw them in. Got this candle made out of deer fat. Used to smell good, but all the, I guess the fragrance kind of went away. We're gonna try use it to lube up that drill bit, see if it'll drill quicker. Okay, we got all these screws in on both sides, and I just got this cross member here riveted in. It's going to be supported by a piece of plywood here that should hopefully help block some of the engine noise. And then of course we're going to have the top hatch that lifts up. Got that first piece cut out. We're going to need cross member. It's going to be real close to the exhaust. It's probably going to go right underneath this edge. And then we'll have another board that'll be permanently mounted here. Got this held down with clamps. We're gonna probably rivet it in place, and then we're gonna build some support structures that go down to the strakes, or the stringers here. Well, I've been doing some measuring, and we're gonna need to buy another sheet of plywood. I think they're 40 bucks, so it's not terrible, but just because they're 48 inches wide, and this boat is wider than that. This is 58 back here, and then we got the front deck is gonna be about 58 right here. So we have to cut, cut the board differently, and I am thankful that I left enough room when I did the bottom of this hull so we can put this ride plate back in, because it was porpoising bad, if y'all remember in the last video, and I think this will help a lot. So we're just gonna put these 12 mil bolts back in. Well, it does not fit perfect, so I had to actually grind that little piece there because the bolts wouldn't line up. Okay, the skid plate's back on. Hopefully that helps with the porpoising. And of course, the front deck, which will have to be another day because we're short on plywood. Okay, I haven't quit yet for the day. I went ahead and did this middle brace here. We still got to get some screws and drill some holes down here just so these don't move around. And I went ahead and installed the light bar from Tractor Supply. It's the same one I have on that jet boat, except bigger. And that is also a Tractor Supply light, but it's about at least 10 years old probably. And they changed the design. They got better brackets now. The old one, you can see, I had to make my own brackets because the original broke. So for the money, the Tractor Supply is pretty decent. Very bright, and I like the black backing, so it's not really, like, it doesn't stick out, like some light bars are just solid chrome all the way across. I like the black. I've got a second coat on that. I don't know if I'm going to finish it tonight. We're kind of running out of daylight, and I don't think the paint will dry quick enough in the humidity at night, so we may have to paint the other side of that tomorrow, but we're coming along pretty good now. I had to move this painting inside because it's been raining on and off all day. We're gonna probably shoot for 4 coats on this top. You can see where I wrote. This is the front of the boat. That's the back of the boat. I got arrows for it. That's gonna disappear here in a little bit, but this is coat number 1. We've already got 3 coats on the bottom and 3 on the sides. We're gonna probably do an extra coat or 2 on the edges because that's the quickest place water will get in. Just picked up the turf for the boat, Amazon Hydro Turf. Chipping away on this front deck here. You can see I'm starting to run low on angle, so I pieced 2 together and I think we might have enough. Yeah, that should be enough. There's 3 pieces there. 1 more support back here. Got to figure out where to put a hatch. I think we're going to put a hatch like right here so we can get that battery down in there. And then the seat pedestal right there is going to go right about here in the middle. And I've already cut out the back piece of wood. It's inside at the moment, but I'm gonna get these pieces cut out so I can paint them all at once. We got plywood. I've been keeping plywood inside with all the dink deer to keep it dry from all the weather because it hasn't stopped raining. Actually, we got 5 minutes that haven't been raining, so I've been working on the boat. But this is the back piece. It still needs to be cleaned off before I paint it. Got the Hydro Turf, Amazon brand. It's not the real deal. And it doesn't have the 3M backing, so we're going to use some spray adhesive to make sure it sticks really good. But it's like an 8-foot by 8-foot roll, and I got 2 rolls, so that should cover the entire boat and have some to spare. So I've got this paper taped up here. We're going to cut along the inside of the gunnel here, make a stencil, and then lay that stencil on a piece of plywood and cut our top deck. Okay, we got it traced out. Pretty simple. I'm probably gonna have to use a jigsaw or sawzall to cut this one. Okay, here's our rough cut. See, the Home Depot special is a little warped, as they always are. Got to sand file down these edges because that sawzall doesn't like the plywood, or plywood doesn't like the sawzall, I should say, but it fits pretty good. I've just been drilling a couple holes here and there. Definitely wanted to get this hole drilled before I paint so we can get our pedestal mount there, and it fits like a glove. Just got lucky and had the right size hole saw, but that'll go there. And I traced out where the trolling motor is going to go just for reference. We'll probably put the Garmin probably like right here, but yeah, chipping away at it. It's been very hot during the day, so I've only been working on it in the evenings, and I might run out of white paint. I might have to buy another thing of paint. All right, I'm painting the other side, the top sides of everything. Notice how clear this paint is. The hardware store down the road is clearancing off all of this brand and bringing in another brand, so this $50 jug was like 65% off or something. So I got a good deal on it, but it's a different kind. They didn't have the same kind that I was using, and it's semi-transparent, but it's also a lot more runny, which should help it soak into the wood better, which is honestly better. But we're probably gonna have to put at least 3 or 4 coats. Look at this mess I've accumulated of all this stuff for this project. I got the fuse block from Academy. It came with all the labels, so we're just going to put on labels for things that I know are going to be on their own dedicated fuse. So we need to get the wiring, all the electrical stuff needs to be done before we get all that decking back on the boat, because it's obviously going to be a lot harder to do with the decking up there. So just starting on that. This is an automatic bilge pump for the stern, and this is going to just be on a regular on-off switch for the bow. If I'm fishing up, up on the front deck, the water's going to pool in the front. So 2 bilge pumps. It's a leaky boat, so I think that's a good investment there. It is an enclosed inboard, so we're doing the blower. The more I think about it, the more I realize I'm probably going to have to throw these in the burn pile. See how warped it is? Got the transducer mounted, siliconed in. Okay, we got the paint roughed up here just above where the floor is going to be, and stops here and it stops back there. Got some solid gray paint I'm going to put on with a brush, but we got to get this dust cleared up first. So this primer I got says galvanized or aluminum primer. Didn't realize it was white. I thought it was going to be metal colored, but we might top coat it because this is a pretty thin primer. You can see all the brush strokes. It's not going to look very good, so we'll find a top coat for it. But I'm going to go ahead and paint this down, get it primed. While I'm at it, I'm going to take this neoprene weather stripping and put it down here, and then bolt this down because we're using through bolts just along this edge over this weather stripping and aluminum angle, just because they're going to hold the hinges, which is going to hold the whole back end of this hatch, which will open and close. So this will be a high stress area. So I'm through bolting. Everything else is just going to be tapping screws straight into the aluminum angle. This Home Depot plywood obviously got some flex. So we're going to just, I don't know, I think I'll just screw it in like right there, drill it out, screw it in, and then screw this down. So I put this together real quick, single rivet on either end just to hold it in place, and then so basically just bolt into the plywood here. It's got enough tension, that'll hold your weight. All right, I got these two deep cycles. One of them went bad off of that boat. I just bought lithiums, but I'm using these as weights because the wood is obviously flexed. So I want to try to hold it down snug so I can line up these hinges and drill the holes and get the hinges in. Butt hinges. And it says to use number 8 screws, which I just picked up today. I got 2 screws in and all the rest of the holes drilled. We're going to back these screws out here and silicone everything, then screw everything down. All right, it's about 6 million degrees out here. I got the other 2 hinges installed. We need some kind of a rod to hold it open, kind of like a car hood. Okay, I've got these switches. I'm probably gonna have to buy a couple more. We got 3 2-way on-off switches and a 3-way for the automatic bilge pump. Rather than go with one of those plastic switchboards from Amazon or Academy or whatever, I feel like those don't handle years of use and abuse. They just kind of go bad or break. These little stainless steel toggle switches last a long time. I've used them on all kinds of stuff. So I decided just to go with the old school steel toggle switches and then the old school headlight switch. We're gonna let this liquid tape dry and then go put it in the boat and get to work on the rest of the wiring. And I won't bore you all with the details of every single switch. We'll probably skip ahead and show you when it's done. All right, we got this this piece is in. It's pretty solid. Probably want to put a little silicone in those little gaps, but should be good. Got a couple hatches in the mail. One selling point on this, I'll put a link down below, but one selling point on this brand was UV resistance, and that's a huge thing when it comes to stuff that sits out in the sun. A lot of plastic or anything plastic really will get brittle and break down in the sun over time, and this was supposedly one of the better ones. They advertised UV resistance, so this little hatch is going to go right here so I can access the fuse panel and all that, the wiring, and then the bigger one's going to go right here so I can put the battery in and access that. Pulled this thing up under the roof here just to try to dodge these little pop-up storms. We got a big mess going on here. Just doing switches. That's the 3-way for the rear bilge pump. The front deck has got the accessories installed. So that's where the battery is going to go in. And then the pedestal. screwing this thing down. We got 4 to hold it in place, and then we'll just put some more across these cross members. There's the hatch, there's the battery box, and the front deck is bolted down. Got this LED strip, not off Amazon. It's a good name brand. I cleaned the surface under the gunnels, gonna go around, and I decided to run it behind here so we have some light in the engine bay if I need it at night. Plus it'll stick to that aluminum a little better than it will stick to this plywood, and I want to hydroturf it all the way up to the top. So we're gonna go, you know, string this through, and then we'll start peeling the backing off and sticking it down. This has got the real 3M backing, so it should stick forever pretty much. And the lights are in, just got to trim that end. Got them in the back there. Got to wire the switch in for that and trim the end, and that'll be done. I'm still 1 switch short. I accidentally bought 3 three-way switches. I only needed 1. Back to the store we go tomorrow.